number 10, we have Taylor Swift. Although not failing to win Grammys throughout the night for All Too Well, the short film, which she starred in with Sadie Sink and Dylan O'Brien, a few fans sparked disappointment at not seeing Swift's Red album, Taylor's version, as one of the nominees. Rolling Stones quotes the album, especially All Too Well, the song, as her own masterpiece, tears it all up, breaks it like a promise, shreds her tapestry, and rebuilds it into a new heartbreak epic, twice as long and twice as mad, with new recordings of 16 songs that first appeared on Swift's 2012 album Red, that was in fact nominated in 2 categories 9 years ago. Was this version a bit too similar? Many Swifties would disagree, standing by Taylor's version and its eligibility for the 2023 Grammys. With the success of All Too Well 10-minute version, fans expected to see Taylor's re-recorded Red get a shot at Album of the Year, with a few taking to Twitter to say, "I hope that justice will be done for Red, and I hope Red finally gets the recognition it deserves." Even with this being her 10th #1 album, despite eligibility, albums are required to have enough original material to be considered. Under general guidelines for albums, it says updated, revised, or expanded versions of previous albums will not be eligible. Number 9, BTS. Despite receiving several nominations for the 3rd year in a row, the band decided they would not be attending the Grammys this year. The band is currently on a hiatus as the boys take on solo pursuits, planning on coming back full force in 2025. The decision to not attend the Grammys this year doesn't shock many, with the entertainment company saying, with the release of their album earlier this year, it opened the path to allow the members to take some time to explore individual paths. Fans who call themselves ARMY haven't been quiet about their outrage on the band's behalf, as yet again the band failed to win Best Music Video or even receive any nominations for their collab with Coldplay, My Universe. ARMY has taken to social media to call the award show the Scammies, with a few believing Western culture doesn't understand the impact of the band itself. One fan wrote, referring to the song, "You Need Me, I Don't Need You." The Grammys just don't understand YTC and its impact. They will never understand BTS like we do. Others expressed how they deserve to win on the stars' Twitters. BTS commented back calmly to their ARMY by saying, "There are so many blessings we could have gotten these 8 years. So please don't forget that whether we got the Grammys or we didn't, we got what we wanted." Fans shows lots of love for the humbleness of BTS, while still expressing concern for the Grammys themselves and their voting methods. Number 8, Doja Cat. Despite being nominated in 5 major categories, the rapper didn't end up going home with a Grammy, with her song Woman being nominated for Record of the Year, Best Solo Performance, and Best Music Video, as well as being nominated for Best Rap Performance for her song Vegas from the movie Elvis. She sadly didn't make the cut. Even with her large online following, it seemed it just didn't translate in this year's Grammy Awards. She took her loss with grace, as did her fans, with many expressing their love over Twitter, with celebrity hairstylist Jay Stay posting a video of Doja on his Instagram story after the Grammys. The star seemed visibly tired. This left fans concerned, fearing she was mourning her loss at the award show. Some were saying she looks so sad and I hope they're just tired and not too upset. Jay Stay made sure to soothe minds, writing on Twitter, "Nobody's sad, we're all just exhausted. It was a great fun day and we're all so blessed to live these moments." We may see new categories arriving for Doja as she spoke to Variety saying, "I feel like we have enough pop punk artists right now. If there needs to be more, then let there be more. I don't think I'm the one to do it. I want to explore a new, raw, unfiltered, hardcore punk sort of thing." Number 7, Blackpink. Being the first Korean pop girl group to top the US Billboard 200, fans were left disappointed after nominations were announced and Blackpink was nowhere to be seen. Not being able to make it for the 2022 Grammys as their album unfortunately did not match the criteria, having an album released past the deadline, holding an extensive list of history-making accomplishments, including having the most viewed video by a K-pop group, being the first female K-pop stars on a Billboard cover, and being the most subscribed artist on YouTube in 2021. It was a shock when they went home with nothing this year. With the band's release of their new album, Born Pink, which in September became the first K-pop group to top Billboard 200, many thought to see it on this year's best album or at least a nod in their direction. The band band also came out with a single, Pink Venom, which broke records. The song got to #1 on Spotify's global top charts and gained 7.9 million streams in just 24 hours. With all that, it just seems it wasn't in the stars this year. Number 6, Beyonce. Making history yet again by winning her 32nd award, which is more than any other artist, topped with her 88 nominations. Known for being the most nominated while also being the most snubbed. Even while winning the most awards in history, she was yet again left out of major categories, losing in Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Album of the Year, making this the 15th time she's been denied one of these major categories. This also marks the 4th time nominated for Album of the Year and the 4th loss, losing with remarkable albums such as I Am Sasha Fierce 2008, Beyonce 2013, Lemonade 2016, and finally Renaissance, which came out last year. Renaissance is the 7th studio album the star has come out with, as well as the 7th to hit #1 in Billboard 200, making her the first female artist to have all 7 albums hit the top spot. Journalist Ernest Owens tweets from the Grammys, "Beyonce was robbed. This is so underwhelming. People are leaving by the masses." He goes on to tweet photos of empty seats during the final performance when Beyonce was not an announced winner yet again. Billboard went on to tweet, "Beyonce's 4th loss in 4 tries in the Album of the Year category overshadows the Grammys." Although many were excited for Harry Styles' big win for Album of the Year, it still made everyone confused as to what Beyonce has to do to win. While most were watching to see Harry's speech, others were left distracted by the camera that panned over to Adele, who seemed to not clap for the star's win. Adele, who won Album of the Year in 2017, beating out Beyonce's album Lemonade, said in her acceptance speech, "I can't possibly accept this award. I'm very humbled, but my artist of my life is Beyonce." She, along with so many others, definitely thought this award should have been to Queen Bee herself. Not only that, but fans have been reported to be heckling throughout Harry Styles' acceptance speech. They were yelling, "Beyonce should have won," all throughout the crowd. Many other social media users sparked outrage, planning to boycott the Grammys to stand by Beyonce. Coming in at number 5, Megan Thee Stallion. The rapper had a streak of successful years, even winning Best New Artist at the 2022 Grammys, making her a 3-time Grammy Award winner. The star, who released her studio album, Traumazine, which got her to top 5 on Billboard's top R&B and hip-hop charts, as well as her 2 top hits, Sweetie Pie with Dua Lipa and Plan B. Fans were shocked to see she was left out with any nomination at all. Taking to Twitter, fans wrote, "Where is Megan Thee Stallion? And are you serious right now? Plan B is the best song of the year." Yet another Grammy mystery as to why she was left out completely this year. Number 4, Nicki Minaj. 2023 was supposed to be the year of making a huge comeback for the star. Coming out with the hit song Super Freaky Girl, many thought it'd be up for the rap category this year. But despite its 8-week-long run on the top of the Billboard's rap songs, the Academy removed the song from rap and instead sent Nicki to compete in the pop category, deeming the song too pop in October. Nicki immediately took to Twitter to explain to fans just how upsetting this was, that her music was being judged differently than those in the same genre. She tweeted, "I have no problem being moved out of the rap category, as long as we're all being treated fairly. If Super Freaky Girl has to be moved out of rap, then so does Big Energy. Anyone who says different is simply a Nicki hater or a troll." Nicki pokes at Lato's song Big Energy as having to be classified as pop also. Nicki's armies of fans, who are called the Barbs, also expressed outrage for the song, forcing Nicki to tweet, "Barbs, there's no need to be angry. This is simply an open, healthy dialogue. Independent thinking is what makes us all human." Lato responded without calling out Nicki entirely, saying, "I can't win for losing. All these awards and nominations and I can't even celebrate." Minaj returned with heat, slamming Lato for not standing up in her battle against the Grammys. The feud went on publicly over social media until the two discussed the rest in private DMs, but in the end, the star was left without a nomination, leaving her fans super confused and many more calling the Grammys the scammies yet again. At number 3, DJ Khaled. Showing up with his family in tow, he really showed that he is the epitome of positivity. While the megastar did receive 6 nominations with 3 nods in his direction, God did, and snagging a nomination for Best Rap Album, as well as Best Album of the Year, it didn't seem to be enough. Earlier this year, we saw Khaled rise to the top with number 1 on Billboard 200, giving him his 3rd chart topper. Missing out this year didn't get Khaled down though. Closing the show with a star-studded group, Khaled performed God Did with Jay-Z, hitting the stage for the first time in 9 years, alongside Lil Wayne, John Legend, Rick Ross, and Friday. Khaled also is quoted saying, "I am living proof that dreams come true." Next up at number 2, 2, Elton John. 5-time Grammy winner, and after being nominated 35 times, fans believed he definitely had a shot this year. After releasing the Lockdown Sessions in 2021, with many notable stars such as Stevie Wonder, Charlie Puth, Dua Lipa, and many more, fans were disappointed to see Elton get no nominations at all. Even with his strong attempt to bring Britney Spears back into the spotlight for the first time in 13 years with the song Hold Me Closer, which ranked 11.1 million streams and 6 on Billboard's Top 100, it wasn't enough. With the iconic singer coming back after such a long time to do this revised version of Tiny Dancer collab, many expected a little bit more recognition for Elton. Coming in at number 1, we have Demi Lovato, actor, singer, mental health advocate. She has had so many fans rooting for her this year for the Grammys. After going on tour from August to November 2022 to showcase her new music and style, fans were sure to see her up nominated for either pop or rock. Going back to her roots with her pop punk album and emo hits, fans were excited to see a side of Demi they hadn't seen in a while. Fans were waiting and ready for her submissions to the Academy, saying it's time to finally honor Demi for constant quality music. Lovato was said to have been competing for Best Rock Song with Skin of My Teeth, as well as Best Rock Performance with 29. A song the singer said really put things in perspective for her, quoting, "I'm very careful with the way that I answer these questions because I feel like the song says it all, but turning 29 was a huge eye-opener for me. Even with her rock album being so highly anticipated, it unfortunately didn't receive a single nomination this year. Fans kept hope in believing she'd get nominated for at least the pop category, but in the end were left disappointed."
And coming in at number 10 is Bradley Cooper. In 2019, when Bradley Cooper's directorial debut, A Star Is Born, starring himself and Lady Gaga, came out, it was the talk of the town. The movie was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Original Song, Actress in a Leading Role, Adapted Screenplay, Sound Mixing, Cinematography, Actor in a Supporting Role, and Actor in a Leading Role for Bradley Cooper himself. But what surprised a lot of people, and embarrassed the star himself, was the seeming lack of a Best Director nomination. Now obviously having 8 Academy nominations for your film is nothing to scoff at by any means, but Bradley did mention this when asked by Oprah Winfrey during the taping of her special Super Soul Conversation. Cooper said, quote, "And the first thing I felt was embarrassment actually. Think about it, I felt embarrassed that I didn't do my part." But again, to reiterate and explain, he continued on saying, quote, "Even if I got the nomination, it should not give me any sense of whether I did my job or not. That's the trick, to make something that you believe in." So, while he did feel embarrassment, it was never his intention to win awards for the film in the first place, as he went on to explain. The shocking part was that he did receive the nomination from the British Academy, the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice Awards, and the Directors Guild of America, so you can't really complain. In at number 9 is Brandon Block. Okay, this doesn't really count as a snub, technically. But kind of. If you ever watched this clip from the 2000 Brit Award for the Best Soundtrack, just be prepared to have absolutely no idea what is going on. It's pure chaos. I don't even know where to start with this one. I think the award ceremony itself, the Brit Award, is a little proud of thriving off of chaos, honestly. Well, at least at that time it was. The Spice Girls won an Outstanding Contribution to Music Award at this ceremony. First of all, we had Ronnie Wood, the guitarist from the Rolling Stones, being his usual self, inebriated, but he was going off about how everyone's too young to remember who the Stones were, and he was being really weird with this barely adult actress Thora Birch. Then, the video montage of the nominees begins to play. Now during or before this montage, British DJ Brandon Block was told by his friends that he had actually won Musician of the Year. But not only was that not true, he hadn't even been nominated at all. So, when the montage ended, and there he was standing on the stage before a winner had even been announced. Everyone was surprised, which prompted just a whole whack of more chaos, with verbal altercations between Ronnie Wood and the security trying their best to drag the DJ off of the stage. I think he may not have been even sober enough to actually be embarrassed, but I'm sure later on the embarrassment hit quite hard. Number 8. Kesha. For the 2018's Grammy Awards, Kesha was nominated for the Best Pop Solo Performance for her song Praying, which can move you to tears, honestly. It was all about coming out alive after going through some seriously messed up experiences with producer Dr. Luke, which was a huge story at the time and had dozens of other artists and bands coming to her support. The song also showed off the artist's natural singing voice, which before this had always been covered and altered with auto-tune thanks to the horrible practices of the ones in charge of producing her music. To have such deep meaning and significance behind a song, it was sure to come out on top, but unfortunately, Ed Sheeran had released Shape of You the same year, which had none of the same emotional backing, but was a really fun, popular, and even somewhat sexy song. So, when the time came for the winner to be announced, Ed Sheeran walked away with the win. While his song was nothing to scoff at, not at all, it still left a rather uncomfortable taste in the mouth for people who knew the story behind Kesha's Praying. If you guys like this kind of content, make sure you drop a like or even subscribe for more videos just like this one from us at InformOverload. In at number 7 is John Hughes. The writer and director of hit teen movies like The Breakfast Club in 1985, Pretty in Pink and Ferris Bueller's Day Off in 1986, plus the screenwriter for comedies like National Lampoon's Vacation in 1983, Planes, Trains and Automobiles in 1987, and Home Alone in 1990, you'd think John Hughes would have been walking around with awards out the wazoo, but he actually never received a single nomination for any of those projects. In fact, on his IMDb, he only has 2 real award wins, one of which given after his passing at the Online Film and Television Association. Hughes received a Producer of the Year award in 1991 at the Show West convention, but the worst part is that he has 2 nominations, both from the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards. One in 1993 for the worst resurrection of a TV show for Dennis the Menace, which I actually really liked as a kid, so that kind of feels unfair, but also in 1997, he was nominated for the worst screenplay for a film grossing more than $100 million using Hollywood math for Flubber, which I also didn't hate as a kid. Maybe I had bad taste. Am I wrong for being upset about this guy's lack of awards? You let me know. Number 6. Everyone involved in The Princess Bride. It's very strange when some of the most beloved movies never receive Academy Awards. In a year that included movies like Wall Street, The Untouchables, and The Last Emperor, 1987 had some real hits, which meant that unfortunately, The Princess Bride, probably one of the most memorable movies for so many people of all ages from that year, was pretty much snubbed from the 1988 Oscars. The Princess Bride only received 1 nomination, and that was for the Best Original Song. Instead, The Last Emperor pretty much steamrolled all other competition, and while that's totally understandable, it just feels wrong for Princess Bride to go almost completely unacknowledged. Does not make it any less fun to watch, and it still won all kinds of awards elsewhere. As most people know though, comedy movies do famously get it quite a little bit harder at the Oscars than dramas. Number 5. Michael K. Williams. While actor Michael K. Williams had been nominated in the past for his other TV works including Lovecraft Country, Bessie, Boardwalk Empire, The Night of and When They See Us, I think it's incredibly shocking for most fans of The Wire that the actor never received a nomination for his time as Omar Little. Omar was probably one of the greatest TV show characters of all time in a show that deserved way more than it ever got in terms of awards. Most people recognize the HBO show as one of the best shows out there, but funnily enough, it was only ever nominated for 2 Emmys, and not a single one of those nominations went to Michael K. Williams. In fact, his only nominations for Omar Little were at the NAACP Image Awards, for which he was nominated for Outstanding Actor in a Drama Series in 2007 and Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series in 2009. Like I said, the actor had received other nominations and wins for his other works before his passing in 2021, but the snub for his time as Omar Little was, in my opinion, just kind of insulting. Number 4. Public Enemy. Judging and giving an award for any form of art is a little difficult. It's all subjective, obviously. I think music, though, can be one of the more challenging media forms to judge an award for, with different songs giving off completely different vibes. But at the 34th Grammy Awards, Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith, aka The Fresh Prince, won over Apocalypse 91 The Enemy Strikes Back by Public Enemy, and I don't know about this one? Public Enemy put out a song that is pretty much required listening and an iconic staple of rap music. People ragged on the Fresh Prince's PG music, and while that did bring his songs down a little bit compared to others, it is true that his skill with the music was pretty much top notch. But when you compare the two songs that we're talking about here, especially in terms of their cultural impact and their place in the genre, it was just a little bit of an interesting choice to have Summertime come out on top. However, there doesn't seem to be much of a problem between the artists. In 2016, Public Enemy leader Chuck D said on Twitter, quote, "Will the Fresh Prince Smith just simply would outrhyme MCs longer till they would run out or get tired." This was his strong point out of Philly. Honestly, the music isn't made for the awards. Most art isn't. So I'm glad that the respect for the rival artist is still there. In at number 3 is Steve Carell. Steve Carell's portrayal of Michael Scott from the time he spent on The Office made him basically culturally immortal. The amount of quotable moments from that show, and they almost all come from Carell himself, ridiculous. Yet, Steve never received an Emmy win for any of it. Instead, during the 2008 and 2009 Emmy Awards, the Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series award went to Alec Baldwin twice for his time on 30 Rock. Steve has also been bested by Jim Parsons for The Big Bang Theory and Tony Shalhoub for Monk. What I find funny is that if you take a large group of people and you ask which of those shows I just mentioned have the biggest impact and are still being watched to this day, The Office would come in at number 1. And most of the reason for that goes to Steve Carell as Michael Scott. Personally, when his character leaves the show in the later seasons, I don't even find it as entertaining anymore. While he has been nominated for the win, his consistent losses just feels wrong. And number 2 is Alfred Hitchcock. There are actually quite a few groundbreaking directors who have been repeatedly snubbed by the Oscars, including Francis Ford Coppola for The Godfather and Stanley Kubrick. But let's go back just a little bit further in time to one that is probably the most egregious. Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense and one of the granddaddies of cinema, has never won an Oscar. The director has received nominations at the very least for movies like Rebecca, Lifeboat, Spellbound, Rear Window, and of course Psycho, but he has never taken any of those wins home, which is just a ridiculously puzzling question. Now obviously, sometimes it's just because other films came out that stole the limelight more for that year, but almost none of those films have made impacts like any of Hitchcock's. While he did eventually get a Lifetime Achievement Award in 1968, it feels kind of strange and like the Academy was just saying, "Hey, buddy, sorry about that." Which, to me, makes it even more hilarious that for his acceptance speech, the man walked up and said, "Thank you very much indeed," and then he left the stage. What a boss. And in at number 1 is Ang Lee. At the 2006 Academy Awards, there was some truly awesome films that were in the running for Best Picture. Bennett Miller's Capote with the truly captivating performance from Philip Seymour Hoffman, Steven Spielberg's gut-wrenching Munich, George Clooney's Good Night and Good Luck, but I'm leaving out 2 here. The first one was the one that everyone thought was going to win, Ang Lee's groundbreaking and even more heart-wrenching gay love story Brokeback Mountain, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger giving some of the best performances I have ever seen. And then there was the film that actually won, Paul Haggis's Crash. Even Jack Nicholson, who was presenting the award, could be seen mouthing "whoa" when he saw that Crash was taking home the award. Crash was a drama that centered on racial unrest in LA, and while it's not a bad film, surrounded by the other films that year and standing against Brokeback Mountain, it was one of the biggest head scratches, and Paul Haggis himself, the director, even said in 2015, quote, "Was it the best film of the year? I don't think so."
Rapper Lil Nas X became famous when his song Old Town Road went viral on the internet. Unlike many other people who hit internet fame, he wasn't just a one-hit wonder. He went on to become a staple in the community, releasing many more popular tracks and revamping the song with Billy Ray Cyrus. His music is obviously quite good, as he even won a Grammy in 2020 and has been nominated many times. However, he was recently left frustrated when he wasn't nominated for the BET Awards this year. The BET Awards are put on by the Black Entertainment Television Network and was made in 2001 to recognize black actors, singers, athletes, and more. Despite being nominated a couple years ago and having other awards, Lil Nas X had taken to social media to share his displeasure towards the situation. But it looks like he wasn't the only one upset about it, as we've recently seen Jack Harlow backing him up and showing his support. Jack Harlow was at the show that took place on Sunday, and he used his wardrobe to make a statement. When he showed up for the red carpet, he was seen wearing a Lil Nas X shirt. As of right now, it looks like he hasn't made any public comments about the situation, but he was already receiving criticism for the fact that he was a white artist being nominated for the BET Awards, but that's not what this video is about. This isn't the first time that Harlow has shown support for Lil Nas X, and he has been previously verbally open about it. At the Grammy Awards, he made the following statement to those who had an issue with LGBTQ+ creators in the space. Wake the f up. What the f wrong with you? It's ridiculous. And speaking about Lil Nas X's career specifically, he said, he's trailblazing a path that, it's sad that it has to be trailblazed, but I think it's amazing. He's innovating the game, and it's fresh, it's powerful, and it's necessary. While Jack Harlow seemed to stick to a more silent protest at the awards show, Nas has been incredibly vocal about his displeasure towards the situation. At the announcement of the nominations, he tweeted the following: "Thank you BET Awards and outstanding, 0 nominations again," but this was later deleted. He also went on to say, "Black gay people have to fight to be seen in this world. Even when we make it to the top, MFs try to pretend we invisible." And on June 7th, he tweeted out a 1-minute teaser to his new song Late to the Party, where he's seen sitting shirtless in his car with the song blasting over the speakers. The song immediately starts with the statement FBT, FBT, which was also mirrored in his caption of the video, though the F of course being the actual word. Some people on social media didn't seem too impressed with what they had seen, people replying with sentiments like "you fell off" and commenting on how he was apparently attacking the BET Awards. He responded to this in a tweet saying the song wasn't over no BET Award. This is about the bigger problem of homophobia in the black community. Y'all can sit and pretend all you want, but I'ma risk it all for us. When someone else said, "You got a whole Grammy, why you acting like this?" Lil Nas responded by reiterating his point and his thoughts towards feeling he was being excluded from his own community. He replied with, "This is my point exactly. How can I get acknowledged by the most acclaimed award show in the world and then not even just 1 nomination from my own people? Is that not crazy? Am I really tripping?" The album cover of his new song also appeared to show someone, presumably him, urinating onto a BET award in a toilet. He said to Rolling Stone, "My relationship with BET has been painful and strained for quite some time. It didn't start with this year's nominations like most people might think. They did let me perform on their show last year, but only after I gave assurances that I was not a Satanist or devil worshipper and that my performance would be appropriate for their audience." BET seemed to disagree though, saying that the summation of events around Lil Nas X's 2021 BET Awards performance is simply untrue. And continuing with, "Since last year's performance, we have been in touch to work on other projects. We are still excited about his previous performances and continue to wish him well. But today, we are focused on culture's biggest night and delivering history-making moments for fans worldwide."
It was at the Fendi Spring 2023 show in New York City on Friday during the finale when Kim Kardashian seemingly got snubbed by Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour. I'm Adam with InformOverload, and let's talk about that. Kim, 41, happened to notice Anna walking over and got a happy little smile as she seemed to say hi to Anna, who's 72, who is well known for her famously icy demeanor, all Devil Wears Prada style. When the magazine editor instead went to greet Sarah Jessica Parker, who was standing next to Kim, it was what many have interpreted as a clear, quote, snub. A clip of this snub happened to make its way to TikTok and has gone a wee bit viral. Kim did indeed act very professional when it happened, just kind of accepting the lack of a hug and smiling as Anna and Sarah connected. The snub is actually a bit of a surprise to most, as it seems that the two have actually formed a bit of a relationship, with Kim having appeared on 3 US Vogue covers, 2 of which were solo appearances in March 2022 and May 2019, and then there was another one with Kanye West in April 2014. The Kardashian also sat with Anna at a show during Paris Fashion Week on July 6, 2022. Kim has also gone to Anna's Met Gala multiple times, beginning in 2013, which was obviously attended by many different celebrities, but still, the guest list is usually quite high standard, and Kim being a reality star included on that invitation list did spark a bit of news when it actually happened. In 2019, Anna actually did speak about the Kardashians, specifically Kim, and how her style has evolved. In a Vogue episode of Go Ask Anna via Complex, she said, quote, "Kim of all of them I feel has possibly changed the most. I personally admire the way she's become a little bit more minimal in the way she's dressing, a little bit more covered." Despite all that though, Anna did apparently repeatedly tell Kim to sit down during the 2019 Met Gala. Kim wore a custom latex tight dress that kind of made her unable to sit down, and after Anna repeatedly told her to, former Vogue West Coast director Lisa Love explained the situation to the editor-in-chief. But hey, that's how these things go sometimes. One minute you're buds, the next minute you're being told to sit down, and then the next you're ignored at the Fendi Spring 2023 show in New York City. Happens to me all the time.